Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
Welcome to our happy hour.
Is that the right thing?
Yes, it is. Don't panic, Phil. Very jittery.
I am. I didn't know you clicked that.
Yes.
What did I click last weekend?
That's because it was on a different system.
Right.
We don't. Sorry about all the mess last week. Oh, I was really ill. I was in bed and Phil says, I can't get into work. I'm like, oh, so I probably frightened all the young children with hair on end.
Total chaos. I ended up doing the old video on the laptop camera instead of that one, but I kept looking at there because I was always looking at the camera. So people got this side of my head on screen, like, you know. Oh, it was great.
Fortunately, I know you're all lovely and you tolerate us, whatever daft things we do.
We survived.
We did. Right then, let's have a look. Oh, the first three in. Just a second, I've got a strange mouse I'm using.
Crafty
First
Caravan,
one
that's
in.
like your ear.
Oh, thank you, Crafty Caravanners.
Campervanners. Oh, wait.
Crumpy Campervanners. Body Tyler fan 34 was first in. Well done. Followed by Ed Creative, our spanner. And third place was Laura Sully Creations. So well done to you three and all. Just pip to the post, Rachel Bailey. But there are a lot more medals going to be going on tonight, so don't worry. And for anybody who's just joined us, they are virtual medals. Sorry, there are no real medals. They're honorary medals.
We have virtual podium places for first, second, and third, and sometimes there is a special award of a gilt bronze.
Well done, Tom. Thank you ever so much, Tom. Tom's given us a £10 super chat, and he interrupted Phil, which is brilliant. Phil doesn't get interrupted very much anymore.
Well, last week they could only interrupt me last week because I was on my own.
Oh, thank you ever so much, Tom. That's really kind of you, and we really do appreciate it.
If you hear this noise,
that's me.
during the evening, it'll be Caroline. Take the Strepsil.
There we go. If the Strepsil manufacturers are watching, if you want to send me a year's supply of them, I get through tons.
Thank you so much, Tom. And just to make a note, Ed, I'm on the exact same page as you, sir. You can't beat a dark chocolate digestive, and as far as I'm concerned, they are best eaten straight from the fridge. So what's your opinion on that, sir? Any other fridge chocolate eaters out there?
Well, thank you, Ed. Right, so I can't see anything pressing. My mouse is really jittery on this.
People saying nice to see you back, hope you feel well.
Thank you. Yes, I'm virtually better. I'm still not I think my diagnosis is COVID. I don't have any COVID tests, but it all seemed just like exactly the same as the last twice I've had it when I have tested, with a really bad sore throat and just gone on and on and on. But I'm getting a lot better now.
The thing is, it's got to the point now where testing for COVID doesn't seem practical because whatever the condition is, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go to bed, you're going to rest,
lie there and
feel rotten until you feel better.
I know it wasn't flu because they always say if somebody put a £50 note on the floor and said you can have it if you get out of bed and pick it up. If you got flu, you leave it there. And I would have got out and picked up that 50. Well, I came in and I managed to sort out the live show, so I wasn't that ill, but it was more than a cold, so I think that's what it was.
There we go. See, I don't know. I'm looking to see if any of the ladies eat their chocolate biscuits from the fridge, or is it a man thing? Because I can see there, Pete likes them from the fridge. That's the Crappy Campervanners. And yep, got mine in the fridge, says Ed. Mine, I think, is the only place to keep them when the weather gets warm. But I love chocolate from... Laura, Sally's Creations, loves her chocolate from the fridge.
Yeah, but Rachel says, dark chocolate digestives are amazing with marshmallow melted on top. Just saying. Like s'mores, I suppose they would be. I've never tried a s'more, but isn't that chocolate and marshmallow between two... We call them digestive biscuits. I think you call them graham crackers over in America. Am I right there? I think so.
Because one of the ways for me to ensure that Caroline doesn't eat the chocolate... if she's trying to resist, is to put it in the fridge.
I'm usually failing, but yeah.
Put it in the fridge. Because if I get a bar of chocolate for Caroline and I want to put it away for later, I'll put it in the cupboard. If I get it for me, I put it in the fridge. I like to snap it, but Caroline likes it at room temperature.
I don't like... Chocolate has got to be so you can almost bend it before it snaps. That's perfect chocolate for me.
Yeah, Sandy's agreeing. Love it from the fridge. Silent Forgotten, hello to the Johnsons. Hello there to you too.
Hello.
I love choc from the fridge too, Melody. So there we are, the ladies in chocolate. As I say, the first time I spotted dark chocolate digestives in the fridge was at my mother's house. I opened my mum's fridge one day and noticed that she kept them in the fridge. And I thought, that seems like an interesting, novel idea. So I bought a packet and put them in the fridge. Not a good idea. I probably consumed about 50 packets over the next couple of months. And then I stopped buying them. Because the problem is if I buy them, I'll eat them. And it's amazing that if you eat 3 or 4 biscuits with a cup of tea, and if you have 3 or 4 cups of tea a day, just how you can consume your whole recommended calorie intake for a day without eating any meals. Then you put the meals on. So I did consider giving up the meals and sticking with the biscuits, but then somebody spoilt it and said that's not very healthy. So
no, I like that with Jaffa cakes. I really cannot stop until I get to the end of a box of Jaffa cakes. There are 48 calories in each Jaffa cake. There are 12 Jaffa cakes in a box, so that is virtually 600 calories in a box of Jaffa cakes. And I can eat them in minutes, so I don't buy Jaffa cakes.
Dark chocolate digestives with peanut butter.
Ooh,
Rachel Ramey says, now I'm on a mission. Bag of chocolate chips in the fridge for later, Bonnie Tyler fan. Anne seems to be in hysterics at the fact you've suggested digestives and graham crackers are the same thing. Goodwin.
They're not.
As she said, ooh, digestives are graham crackers. Laughing Ed, I'm not sure.
Right. Well, I don't know. I've got no idea. And the Faraway Portal's commenting on Mankey's hat. Yes, he's got his sombrero. When we thought we were going to Portugal last winter to visit Phil's brother down there, he bought himself this sombrero and he never got to wear it. So every now and then he likes to wear it just to make sure he gets his money's worth.
Yeah, and it has been sunny. It's not quite Mexican weather, but it has been sunny. Jaffa cakes are dangerous, Caroline. That's from Bonnie Tail Fan. And Ed was saying that he puts chocolate in the freezer. That way it takes so long to melt, it lasts longer, and he gets to savour the flavour.
Good point.
Choc ices, no. Magnums, now you're talking. We went on a little trip and had a treat, and we had the mango, peach and coconut, were they?
A mango and coconut, I think they were.
They were coconut.
Oh, they were really nice.
Chocolate.
And white chocolate.
And Caroline's not a coconut fan, but the mix was just right. We had those on a little treat when we were away, so that was nice. Because who was it took the credit for inventing magnums? Was it Roger Moore?
Was it?
Roger Moore, correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will, because you do love to comment.
Oh yes.
I believe it was Roger Moore was on a chat show and they were talking ice cream and he turned around and said, what I don't understand is why has no one ever thought to stick a chalk ice on a stick? He said, I'd buy it. He said, someone should make that. And the Magnum was born. Because he put the idea out. That's what I heard. Right.
Before we go to the first question, we have to do an experiment. Mo, she said, I have some Jaffa cakes and a jar of peanut butter. Should I? Yes. Do it now. And then let us know what it's like, because that does sound rather dreamy.
I've got to be honest, we differ again. Caroline, chocolate not in fridge. Me, chocolate in fridge. Caroline, that tastes dreamy. Me, that tastes like a culinary nightmare, because I hate, with a passion, peanut butter.
I could sit there with a jar and eat it.
It's taken me until when Caroline wasn't well, quite recently, a year or so, that I actually made a peanut butter sandwich for her because I couldn't stand the smell. When my brothers used to eat it, when my big brother used to eat peanut butter, I'd leave the room. I was repulsed by peanut butter. I can stay in the same room as it now, but I would never indulge the idea of sticking it in my mouth. No, not a peanut butter man. I like my cheese and jam and other such normal things, but peanut butter, that's not good.
Charlotte had a meter of Jaffa cakes for Christmas. I didn't share. Oh! Lucky I didn't know I'd be knocking your door. Hello, I've come to visit. And Tom said, Magnum, don't mind if I do. They do a lovely, so many different, at first it was just a plain Magnum, wasn't it? But now they've got quite a few alternatives. Very much full of temptation.
Indeed. And you're more milk chocolate and I'm more dark, aren't we?
I don't mind the thin dark chocolate from Aldi's or Lidl's. I think they both do it. It's 85% chocolate and it's really thin. I like that because of the thickness of it. But that's the only dark chocolate. And the dark chocolate, I think it's dark chocolate on Jaffa cakes. But it's very thin again, so could be something to do with the thickness.
Another bar of chocolate that's from my
got
past.
slightly off topic from Mudlarking.
Old Jamaica. Now, Old Jamaica tastes like chemicals, really, as does
like.
most rum and raisin ice cream. But I'm sure it's from my childhood when I thought, ooh, there's rum in that.
We'll get drink all this.
When you're like 9, you think, I want to see what rum tastes like. And you get a taste of weird things. Also got a taste when I was a kid. We used to go to a shop and buy sort of 2 ounces, because we couldn't afford 4 ounces, of chocolate ruffles. Raspberry ruffles. Dark chocolate with coconut inside infused with raspberry sauce. And we used to take the wrappers off and use torches to shine through the wrappers to make red lights. And in 2 ounces of those, we'd probably get, lucky if we got 2 each as me and my brothers. Yep.
Oh, Meryl, when she was a child in the 70s, we used to put a peeled orange in the freezer and eat it like a jubilee. Good idea. Anne Godwin said, forget peanut butter, Nutella is the way to go.
Oh, yes.
I don't like mixing, for me, and it's really popular over here too, but I don't like the taste of nuts coming into my chocolate. Don't mess with my chocolate. I don't mind a peanut butter cup, but don't put nuts in my chocolate. And
Mary saying, just like the cider lollies, Phil. Yep.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I used to get my Uncle Albert used to like the cider lollies as well, and we used to have a cider lolly off the people. I've mentioned this before. Me and my brothers used to go to the outdoor swimming pool, and we never had any money, but the man in the little shop used to give us a stick with a spike on, and if we filled a bag full of rubbish, we could have a lolly. We used to have cider lollies there.
Mo said, did you ever get Spanish gold coconut tobacco? Yes, once, because my mother would send me over the shop with we'd have a halfpenny to buy we'd buy 2 ounces of something or other. And the one day, I think it was we always had a halfpenny, one day I had a penny, and I never thought I'd get a penny, and it was expensive. It was in a little silver block, like a block covered in silver, or gold, kind of shiny. And I was so excited. I'd finally been able to afford some, and I'd seen all my friends eating it, and I put it in my mouth, because I didn't realise it was coconut. It just appealed to me, just the look of it, and I thought, what a waste of money. So yeah, I did have that once. Did you ever have that?
No.
It's like coconut in a... It's supposed to look like tobacco to put in your pipe, but it was
I think
coconut.
I remember seeing it, but it was a bit posh.
I know one for desiccated coconut.
Nah.
So.
We used to have sweet cigarettes, didn't we? Remember that?
Oh yeah, with a little red bit on the end.
Yeah, a little red end on it, and you used to suck your cigarette and pretend to smoke. My gosh, how the world has moved on. Yeah, and Kaz is saying, I was so excited when Mum let me have a cider lolly off the van when I was younger.
Very grown up.
Yeah, there's...
Most of my friend wasn't allowed carbonated drinks. He mixed orange juice with Andrew's liver salts. Now, this is not medical advice. Do not, under any circumstances, do this. Yeah, what did you do?
We may get banned off YouTube for this, but when my mum, if she's listening, will shoot me. But our idea of sweets, Mum used to keep a lot of medication in the house, so we knew where it was. So we used to have these as sweets, Strepsils. And to make pop, we'd have orange squash and put saltpeter in them, which I understand is codeine.
You see why they did so well at school.
And paracetamol. So they're super killer sort of painkillers, because my mum has suffered with a lot of pain all of her life, and she takes massive painkillers, then she's on patches and all sorts. But she used to have these things, and we used to pinch them and drop them put one into a thing, and it would all froth up and make it all frothy, man. We invented Cresta. Do you
remember that with a polar bear when it's frothy, man? He'd shake his can around.
We invented that.
I don't think you did.
I tell you what.
I think Cresta was a lot safer.
I reckon the street value of ours would be higher than Cresta.
Anyway, we probably get off this subject, because otherwise we're going to get a strike from...
Yeah, shall we have a question?
Yes, let's have a question.
Have we got that far? Yeah, it's 1:15.
Just a second, I'll be with you when I come for my question.
Right then, folks. Now, as you may have forgotten, this is not a cooking program. It's not a sweet treat program. This is actually loosely linked to last night's video. You can't get more loosely than spending 15 minutes talking about chocolate, but I blame you, Ed. All right? It's your fault. You started it.
You did.
Okay,
Don't
question 1. Caroline found a tile when we were out on this occasion. Now, we have found some pretty tiles up in the Yorkshire dumps. In fact, on a video quite recently, Caroline found a beautiful quarter of a tile and I trod on it. But this one was a bit plain. But even though it was a bit plain, it does allow me now to ask a tile-related question. Sorry, folks, I got a bad chest. But I will survive. Tiles have been used for about 6,000 years. In fact, there was a question quite recently about where can the oldest tiles be found. And they are about 6,000 years old. But it was only about 2,800 years ago that the ability to glaze a tile was discovered. In which country was that discovery of the capacity to glaze tiles made? Was it A, Iraq, B, Iran, or C, Egypt?
Go!
There we go. Caroline got this one wrong when she guessed earlier on. I had to try him out on Caroline.
Oh, hello, Peggy.
And she got this one wrong. It didn't work out for her. But let's have a look. Let's see what the answers are coming in and see who's got what and see if we get any right ones. I think we will.
Yeah, all the answers are already coming in.
Well, we've had a C, a B and an A.
We're okay. We're okay. We've got one of
We're
everything.
bound to have a correct answer.
We're right there. Lucky you can't get any bacteria through
don't worry.
the internet.
The marvels of YouTube do not transfer diseases. So
You don't get smelly vision, you don't get infector vision either.
Here we go. Here we go. Right there.
Then, so do we have a winner?
We bound to.
We're bound to.
We do. And the winner is
Drum roll, please.
Sharon Paget.
Well done, Sharon.
Because Sharon was the third answer in. I had a C, I had a B, I had an A, and the answer is A because it's modern Iraq, the ancient civilization of Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia, lovely sound, isn't it? Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia.
I also like Constantinople, it sounds nice as well.
And Mesopotamia were really into sort of discovering things, including glazing. So Sharon, go podium.
Well done.
Lexi, behave yourself. Lexi put China.
He usually is.
I know, she's joining you and it's always China. And so the next correct answer is Colin. Colin Scott.
Well done, Colin.
And then, oh golly gosh, I'm going to have to wind down a bit to get the next correct answer. And it is, long time no on podium, but he's back, the Victorian medal.
Oh, well done, Adam.
The man with an anchor.
Well done.
Fantastic. Lovely to see you in. And you've got yourself a bronze. So we've got Sharon, Colin and Adam.
Right then, shall we move, because we've been talking so long about chocolate. Not that it's like us. So what should we do about some happy news? You ready?
And hold on a second.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, you haven't got it wrong again.
No, I just wanted to say Lise, Jason and Tina, I believe, are the only other three that got it correct.
Oh, well done, Lise, Jason and Tina then.
So I just mentioned that because there were so few correct answers there. Yep, it's handy to remember Iraq was Mesopotamia. Of course, it doesn't help because Iran was Persia and they invented a lot of stuff as well. And of course, Egypt did as well. So I would, if I'd said sort of Bognor, Bargoed or Iraq, I'm sure you'd have gone for the right one. You'd have gone for the right one. So, okay, what are we going for?
Let's go for some happy news.
Okay. Would you like to go first?
Go on, and I'll go first.
Which one do you want to do, dear?
Oh, I don't know. Give me whichever one you want to.
Oh, I don't know.
Surprise me.
I'll give you the shorter one
I
because
don't
you
surprise. Trying to see if I can get through without laughing. Phil's asthma's been playing up terribly these last 2 weeks. I think it must be the pollen. No.
I don't officially have asthma because I haven't been to the doctor.
No, you won't go.
Yeah, that's the way to stay healthy. Don't go doctor. No, I reckon then I'm doing
Not
right.
medical advice. Ignore him.
Yeah, ignore me.
Right, national treasures in a thrift store. In 2019, when Anne Lee Doziers, who worked in Latin America for a human rights advocacy group, saw a decorative and old vase on the clearance shelf at the thrift store in Clinton, Maryland. Considering it would be a nice little thing to remind her of Mexico, and with a price tag of just $4, there was no reason to pass it by. Dozier thought the vase might have been decades old, but after visiting to Mexico City 5 years later, she noticed the vases at the National Museum were strikingly similar to the one on her mantle at home. So much so that she asked a museum official. The official recommended she contact the embassy in Washington on her return, which she did. After examining the pictures, the embassy wrote back saying, "Congratulations, it's real, and we'd like you back." "I'm thrilled to have played a part in this repatriation story. I would like it to go back to its rightful place and to where it belongs," she said. "But I also want it out of my home because I have 3 little boys and I'd have been petrified if after 2,000 years I would be the one to wreck it," said Anne, adding that the feeling of playing a part in the nation's cultural heritage was worth more than any amount she could have got at auction. Well, that was very very altruistic and reasonable of her, wasn't it? I think I'd have been like, "Oh no, you can't have it back, it's worth a fortune." But that's very nice of her, and it's really lovely that they found one of the treasures, because so many of these treasures have got put into private collections over the generations, and a lot of things have gone missing and they're not there for anybody to see. Now it's going to be there for everyone to see.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to know what the valuation would have been.
I'd like to know.
But obviously to the people themselves in that part of Mexico, it was a priceless thing because it's part of their heritage. And how many whole pots survive 2,000 years? But as you said, with 3 children in the house, the chances are it wasn't going to stay whole for long, and it could have ended up in the bin. But yeah, as you say, very altruistic, very generous. I think the link she had through her work with in sort of Central America and everything else, it sort of made her feel, like I said, she wanted it to remind her of her time there. And then when she realised how important it was to them, she decided that she would give it back. So generosity and encouragement to all of those out there like ourselves who enjoy a good rummage in the thrift store.
You'll never know what you'll find.
Yeah, if you find a tatty vase for $4, you never know.
Might be worth picking up.
It could be a tatty vase, but on the other hand, it could be
any we've ever found to be
a
tatty
treasure.
vases.
And this one was a treasure. There we go. Shall we have a look at a find?
Let's have a look. Who's got finds to show today? They're all over your side, are they?
No, they're all upstairs.
Don't laugh.
I got them ready, honest.
So I've been sorting out the shelf. Like, what do you think of my modern art? I decided that I was going to try some, and this is that. I think it's the bottom. It looks like the policeman of Noddy, I think, the bottom, and then the broken doll's head. So I thought, oh, look at that. I'll make a little creepy. Oh, I don't know if you can see. I'll bring it closer to the camera. There we go. Look at that. Look at that for creepy. Whoa. Be quite good for Halloween, wouldn't it? Especially if you put a red light inside it. Put it back there. It isn't glued or anything, that's why I'm balancing it. Oh, here he comes with his bucket, and there's not a hole in his bucket.
Mrs. Bouquet.
Ed's laughing just saying upstairs. The thing is, Ed, we live upside down. We come in on the living room, because we're on the side of a hill. You come in on the living level, and then you come down the stairs to the bedrooms and the office. But the garage then is upstairs, or the garage, depending on how you say it. So all this gets washed in the garage. Yeah. So Phil had to go up to the garage, bring it down.
Upstairs in our house, we have a garage, a bedroom, a washroom and toilet, a kitchen, a living room and dining area. Downstairs, as Caroline says, we have her studio, we have this studio, and we have the bathroom, the conservatory, the garden is out there, and the master bedroom is to our right. So that's how the house is laid out. So it is a bit weird. It was very weird when we moved in to get used to the idea. You opened your front door and the stairs went that way instead of that way, because we've always lived in houses the right way round, didn't we? But you come into our house.
I felt like living in a caravan, or I suppose in the States you call it a trailer, when we first moved in, because we're used to walking on solid concrete floors and suddenly we were on wooden floors. It felt really weird.
And of course, I did prepare these. I got them all ready to bring down, and then I went and left them upstairs. How naughty am I?
Alan had a good idea. Put an eggplant in there. That would look really creepy, wouldn't it? Like if there was a big creature growing out of his face.
There we go. There you go. Do you want to show that one?
Okay.
Because
Just
people
trying to-
haven't seen that close up and clean.
It's it's wet inside. It's a finger puppet of a dog. Ruff, ruff, ruff. He's lovely, isn't he? He's got a real vintage look to him. Come on, show yourself. I know it is. The camera's so far away. I've got it in the wrong place. But anyway, so he's got a bit of an attitude problem with this dog. He's going, oh yeah, so what? Huh? It's like Kevin the teenager. Yeah. But he's very cute.
Indeed.
I'm not sure there was something there. Look, something snapped off his face there. But I don't think he had a bone in his mouth. I don't know. There was something weird sticking out of his face. Plus he's had an accident in the garden and speared himself with a twig. Could have been something like that. But he's very cute.
And before we have our next question,
Yes.
which will be related to Caroline's doggy, I will show you this so that we can have a definitive response as to whether you think they're plums or apples. Because Caroline really was indecisive on this.
The one looks like a plum and the other looks like an apple. I think that's the problem.
It's certainly
The
plum
purple
coloured,
one looks
isn't
like
it?
a plum and the other one does look like an apple.
Well,
Because
to be
a plum
honest-
doesn't have like that bit in the end.
I think the one looks like a lemon or an orange because it's got that sort of peel effect on
Yeah,
it.
could be.
I think they're nondescript, multi-representative pieces of fruit.
I tell you what, they could be made in China and they could be lychees. Well,
They
the one
could
could be a
be.
lychee. The purple
But-
one.
I gotta be honest, as bits of China go that we have found, because of the shape, I did genuinely think I'd found a mug that wasn't meant to have a handle, but as you can clearly see, it jolly well was. But that's quite nice. Quite useful for popping something in.
Apples. So Crafty Campervaners and Rachel said apples. Ed said peaches. Linda said apples. Phyllis said plapples. Now, I think you're onto something there, Phyllis. Tina said olives.
Ooh.
Look at the leaves. I don't know, it depends whether the colours are right, but olive leaves are like a grey-green, but that doesn't mean it's wrong, does it? Ed said probably quince.
Ooh, lots
Or when
of
we moved to
guesses.
Bournemouth years ago, our children were really young, and there were these strange trees, bushes growing in the garden, and I loved my garden. I had no idea what they were, and I thought I'm going to chop those down because they had these fruit on them, and I didn't want the children poisoning themselves. So I think there was 3 or 4 of them. Cut them right down to the ground, and then somebody said, "Oh, they were quinces." I'd never seen a quince. It's
Can't
too
take-
cold, I think,
we
in
can't
Wales.
take you anywhere.
I know.
Right then, shall we have a doggy-related question, dear?
A doggy-related question.
Yeah, give me a
Okay.
Now, those with a little bit of knowledge may well be able to get this answer because Caroline knew this one. Anybody who watches Antiques Roadshow,
Don't sound so shocked.
anybody who watches any of them ones like Bargain Hunt, you will have come across the answer to this question. Because matching pairs of pottery spaniels standing guard were commonplace on the mantelpieces of so many homes during the 19th century. They were made across England and in Scotland. But with what county are they clearly associated? Was it A, Staffordshire, B, Derbyshire, or C, Worcestershire?
Go.
Okay, folks. Now, all 3 of those areas are renowned for porcelain and pottery in
They all
different
end
ways.
this, yeah?
They're all shires. They're all counties of England. But one of those is closely linked to the somewhat large spaniels that were made in pairs to sit either side of the mantelpiece and were extremely popular. So do you think it's A, Staffordshire dogs? Do you think it's B, Derbyshire dogs? Or do you think they were C, Worcestershire dogs?
I think they're on to you.
Do you think so?
Yes, we've seen how many right answers are there.
No, but there's a fair mix of answers, mind. You never know. Somebody might have been led
Well,
astray.
there are some different answers there, and I suppose if you're from the US, it'd be very difficult because we tended to grow up with these on Granny's mantelpiece and things like that, didn't we? So
Yeah.
it's a lot more common knowledge in the UK.
Well, folks, as Caroline said, I would say that over 50% of the answers this time are correct. And the first 4 answers are correct. So I will give a
Silver gilt?
we'll give a gilt bronze.
For some
So-
reason, I think they call it a silver gilt. It seems a bit strange. It doesn't seem like a 4th place.
So we have top of the tree. First answer in that was correct is Campy Caravanas.
Well done, Clumpy Clumpavanas.
And they said A, which is Staffordshire dogs, sometimes called staffs. And yeah, Staffordshire, a pair of Staffordshire dogs. Number of times on Bargain Hunt and other shows, oh, we've got a pair of Staffordshire dogs. Leave those there, they don't do well at auction. And I was reading up today, there are those who do well at auction. They've got to be early Victorian ones.
And they're quite weird looking, I think, aren't they? They
The
less
vast
look like a real dog.
majority of what's out there was produced for the mass market. So, Crafty Campervanas are on gold. Rachel Bailey is on silver. Rachel Ramey, we got 2 Rachels coming in
Well
on
done,
bronze.
Rachel.
And then the man from up north, Mr. Tom Early, is going to get a special mention for being 4 in a row.
So who was it then? I came
We've
in at
got Pete and Kaz, then we
Oh,
got
well
Rachel,
done.
and then we
Well
got
done.
Rachel,
Well done.
and then a special mention for Tom
Well done.
for being 4 in a row because there's not much between them. Yeah, Staffordshire dogs. Yeah, Staffordshire dogs. Now you know. And if you look them up, you'll see they are very recognisable. Sometimes you can pick them up, a couple of them for a couple of pounds in some places because they just want to flog them off. But they will become rare eventually if enough of them break. But as is the case, if something is commonplace in the 19th century, and they were quite chunky, so they tended to get passed down the family, and now they don't fit with no one's decor, so they're ending up in junk shops, charity shops, at auctions and other places.
Then again, this cottage core is coming back in, which is all like the things your granny had around the house, which is all darker colours and crocheted blankets, patchwork, and old-fashioned ornaments. So they could have a resurgence.
No, Lexi. China Shire is not a word.
Well, you can make it a word if you wanted to be.
She's determined
No
that
rules
China.
on this show.
She's working on the principle. China's got to come in there somewhere. It's Phil. It's questions. It must be China. And Ed was saying, I think my grandmother had a pair of those spaniels.
Could well be. They were very popular, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right then. So, what's the
And Rachel Rimy's back on the digestives. How about a gilded dark chocolate digestive? Lexi joined in saying yes, with that edible gold leaf.
Oh.
So now they're getting posh. Ed, no good for us down these parts. These posh people with their gold-plated chocolate digestives.
What we'll have to do this year for our Christmas show is you all decide what you're going to donate, and then we'll have a virtual mass party, and you all come up with something really posh. It doesn't matter if you can't cook because you haven't actually got to make it. It's all virtual, and
And
we'll
we
all
can
see
print
what
a menu.
Yes, we can see what we're going to contribute. So I'll come up with something really strange. Perhaps I'll come up with something Welsh themed. Maybe not.
Now, this is something Caroline picked up, and she didn't know what it was. And I'm going with Ed because I haven't had time to have a close look at it and see what's at the top there. That is a battery terminal where you would unscrew that and put a wire under it. So this would have been part of a battery.
Just moving you a minute.
It would have been sat in a fairly large battery.
If you move your seat forward, because we're miles away from the camera, I don't want to move the camera because it'll just fall over. So we're going to move closer to the camera. Ooh, don't it? Ooh, scary. There we go.
But I said to Caroline, we'll take that home because when Caroline does some of her like Halloweeny things,
Halloweeny.
I thought if you take that, it would look very good as a gravestone. So you could put R.I.P. or something on there, and that in a little what do they call those, like little setups?
A diorama?
I was going to say Diamante, but I knew it was
No,
wrong.
it's definitely
I
not
knew
right.
it started with D. In a diorama, that might look good, as maybe it would need sinking down a little, but at that level, I think that looks quite good as a gravestone.
It does.
So there we go. That's what we think that is. I trust everyone agrees.
Oh, there we are. Lexi said we could all contribute a local dish. There we go. Local dish, but if you want to add a little something special to it, for instance, if your local dish was Lancashire hot pot, you could sprinkle some gold dust on the top if you wanted to make it a bit special.
I remember Lexi sent us some very moist currant bread from up their way and some cheese that was wrapped
yes.
in like a green. Oh, that was awesome. That was absolutely beautiful. It is amazing. When we travel, it is nice to eat things. You know, we did a trip one time with our children in a caravan and we were on a budget. So we decided that we said to the kids, everywhere we go, we're going to make a meal out of the local sausages.
So
And it was
sausage and
great.
chips, beans and chips every
Yeah.
day.
Well, we went-
Sausage and beans,
Yeah.
chips and beans.
We went to Melton Mowbray. And
We had bread and Moby pork pies.
we had a pork pie from there. That was splashing out. We had one between 6 of us. But they're quite the size, and we had those because we thought you got to do it while you're. But then we had Lincolnshire sausage, and we had sort of nothing.
And we had a few sort of interesting sausages, some with apple, bits of apple
Yeah,
in.
and we
Very
would buy the
nice.
sausages and do sausage, beans, and chips, or sausage, egg,
wonderful.
and beans, or whatever, just to keep the budget down. But we had the sausages from different
Those were
areas.
the days when we didn't know frying all your food was really that bad for you. Now we all know that's not the thing to do, to feed your kids chips and sausages
and
all the time.
we were on the road.
Yeah, it was only for a month.
Yeah. We actually took a month on the road, 6 of us in a
Four-berth
very
caravan.
small
It
4-berth
was
caravan.
12'6" long.
12'6" front to back, 4-berth caravan with an awning. 2 kids in the awning, 2 down that end, us 2 up this end. The night the thunderstorm came, there was 6 of us in the caravan. And we did that for a month, travelling around Britain. And when our eldest told the other children where they were going for their holiday, the other children were so jealous because they were only going to Disneyland and Florida and places like this, and they were going to have a month in a caravan, and the posh kids that were going on the super holidays were jealous of our kids because they were going to have a month. We started in Scotland. We went all the way down the country. We went via Liverpool, Norwich. We went over to Norfolk. We went down through to Bournemouth. We went back up around and into Wales.
First.
We went to Plymouth. Oh, we covered some places, and we did it all in a month, travelling around. It was like a ministry tour. I was ministering at churches in Norwich, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Plymouth, places like that. London. We went to London. We took the caravan to London. Yeah, on the outskirts.
We
of
didn't go right in.
No,
No,
there's a
I'm back to
place-
us driving
Yeah.
past the Buckingham Palace with the caravan
There's
on
a
the
place
back.
called Lee Valley because we were there, and my mum was working in London at the time. And she came to see us.
Yeah.
That's going back a bit because mum's 90 in October.
Yes, you've got a big birthday coming up.
Yeah, in October, so it's not far off now. Mum will be 90, and she was working back then. Mind you, she did retire twice. My mum must be the only person that was working with a clock on the wall in her accommodation that said she'd retired.
Right, we've got some suggestions in for our Christmas meal. We've got Lincoln Plum Loaf and Jess Jane Cheesecake. That's what Lexi sent in. And Rachel Bailey said local dish of Cumbria, sticky toffee pudding from Cartmel or Grasmere gingerbread. Well, I think I'd be going for this. I love sticky toffee pudding and cream. Oh, gets me every time. Rachel Bailey said Kendal mint cake. Fine if you like mint. I'm not a mint fan myself, but I'm sure people love it. But it's still very popular, isn't it? For a traditional thing. Lots of people have heard of it. Lexi B, Grasmere gingerbread. Mackinac Island fudge, Sharon Paget said. Ooh, I love fudge. Oh, yes. Fudge. Lee's Wall said Quebec maple butter. Maple butter? That sounds nice. I haven't tried that. Let's have a look. Anything else coming in? No. That's our Christmas menu is starting to pick up. I'll try to remember. If I don't remember, remind me. Beginning of December, and then you can send me all your recipes in, and we'll print up a menu and put it up on or put it up on a page with a link. And if you want, you can print out the menu and you can comment on everybody's recipes. We'll have a really daft time for Christmas. We always do, and it's good fun.
And Linda's going to send some pavlova from New Zealand.
Oh, I love pavlova. That was named after, was it Nelly Pavlova, a singer, an opera singer? I think it was. But it's very nice.
Shall we do another question?
We look at the time.
That's all right. We're up to number 3. Okay, everyone. On this trip, we found, sadly broken, but a sauce bottle with a brand name that we don't see very often. We see a lot of Fletcher sauce, we see a lot of Heinz sauce, HP, but we don't often see the Lion brand. Yet that particular brand story goes back long before Heinz started producing their products in 1869, as this company, Lions, began in 1831. Originally, they produced and supplied spices, and then the business began to create condiments, sauces and dressings as the demand grew. But when did Lion stop production? Was it A, 1939, B, 1979, or C, it's still available in the shops?
Go! Oh, we've got another offering. Crafty Campervaners are going to send in a cheddar cheese sarnie washed down with cider. Oh, that's definitely going on the menu too. Oh, we're all going to be so full after our Christmas show. We'll have to do that, like we usually do every year as well. If you want to dress up in your glad rags, or just send any picture of yourself, and we'll put pictures up so we can all see how everyone's doing. We won't know what we look like, so it's not so exciting. But if you send us in pictures of yourselves, and we can have little sort of viewers, whatever would you call it, slideshow every now and again through the show if we get too many, but a couple in at a time, and we can know who we're talking to, because sometimes we get to really know somebody on the chat and we have no idea what they look like. It puts us at a real disadvantage. Sometimes I'm in Cardiff and I think Ed could be walking around now and see us and we have no idea who he is. It's the same whenever we go anywhere. We think, we know people from this area. I wonder if that's them. You can get quite paranoid.
Pork tamales.
Pork? Are they tamales or something? They are tamales. Oh, I've heard of hot tamales. Is it? They're in a box and they're sweet, but that looks like some sort of wrap.
And Meryl Reese is going for mashed sprouts.
Oh, I love sprouts, especially with gravy. They've got to have gravy with them. And I love mashed sprouts.
Caroline roasts sprouts in the
they're
oven.
okay roasted, but I prefer them really. I like my sprouts soft.
And
lots of people like them hard, al dente. You've got to have a sprout al dente. It's got to be boiled to death.
Linda says Pavlova was a ballerina.
Right.
And Melba, according to... Melba was the singer, according to Lexi.
Right.
Who is still hunting for Fletcher.
Nelly Melba. Yep, that's right. I just got everything confused. But yeah, it was Nelly Melba was Peach Melba, they named it after her, wasn't it?
Right there.
Oh, and I'm Goodwin was saying about these tamale things with charo beans from Jason's late mom's recipe. Ooh, sounds interesting. You can't beat these old recipes. It's just something about them.
And I better do the answers before we forget we haven't done them.
Yes.
The answer is, folks, if you wanted to try some Lion's sauce, it is still in the shops. Yep. The brand is still running. It's now owned by a conglomerate, as are most brands, but they're still producing under the Lion brand. It's still in the shops. I didn't know that until I did my research. I can't say I've seen it in the shops because I would have recognised it on the hunt. But it is still in the shops. And top of the tree, first answer to say it's still in the shops, I believe, is Sharon Paget.
Well done, Sharon.
The next person to get it correct, and we got quite a few incorrect answers, was Rachel. Hang on, Rachel, I'm choking. Rachel Bailey. This is the worst my chest has been ever.
Know.
Rachel Bailey on silver, and Ian Davis is taking the bronze.
Well done.
So it's Sharon, Rachel, and Ian That's the positioning for the answer today.
Best not to shout. Because
I
the
shout
deeper
and it
Phil
works.
But the deeper you breathe, the harder it gets to breathe
When I
back in,
project
doesn't
my
it?
voice, it works. When I talk normally, it
So
cracks
Phil isn't
out.
shouting nastily, he's trying to talk.
Yes. Shall we have another find?
Yes, let's have another find.
There we go. That's one of the finds you like, isn't it? You like those.
Oh yes, I love these big chunky jars. I absolutely love them. I don't know why, but I do. And I like, we've got some with crunchy pickles on. Oh, I love it. It says crunchy pickles. That is so, it's a case of onomatopoeia, isn't it? A crunchy pickle. I just love it. But even if they've got nothing on them, I just like them. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this one. Probably do some dyeing in it. I'm going to start doing some natural dyes from plants in my garden, plants around the area that I find. So that's probably what I'm going to do with it.
And I have a find here that is not from this video. It is from a previous video, but we showed the video and we weren't here for a live show. So I thought, having taken the trouble to bring it home, I would wash it and we would open up the question, is this young lady, and we're assuming this young lady by her mode of dress and her sandals, is she carrying a mirror or is she playing table tennis? Because this is quite a chunk. If I put my hand behind it, you can see it's quite a chunk. That was quite a sizable model in its time. But I thought it was there in the bag of finds when I was sorting out today.
Oh, she's lovely. I'd
And I
love
thought
to
I'd
see
bring it
her.
down. See, even a bow on the back. See, they've done the bow on the back. And the gilting is, there's gilting on the buttons. So it's quite nice. Hold it. You can put it over your side there. So there we go. I thought that was quite a nice find. And there's another bottle of stature, not as big as Caroline's biggest bottle, but she was very pleased to find this one, which, as Caroline pointed out, still had the cork in the top, and it says poisonous. It's not just poison, it says poisonous on the top, and along the side it reads Brown and Sons Limited, Huddersfield. And I have a question related to this. Do you want to show you?
Look at that, a perfect fit. It's my little vampire bat from Bielefeld, from Beata. Well, it's almost like it was when it was first made.
Almost, but not quite. And it doesn't answer the question, table tennis or carrying a mirror.
No.
But it seems at the moment, table tennis is winning.
Right.
A backhander in table tennis.
She's got these little like crosses on this.
Badminton racket, very popular game with Victorians, Sister Remy was saying. She also told me to go to the doctor.
That's never going to happen.
Ed
It's
reckons she's
terrible.
brushing her hair. Meryl reckons tennis. Oh, I think tennis is winning about 5-1 at the
It's a fly
moment.
swat.
Could be. Right then, shall we have a question
Let's
related
have a question.
to the bottle from Huddersfield with poison in? Caroline was very pleased to find her bottle, as I said, a poisonous bottle, and I'm very pleased because it gives me an excuse to ask a question about Huddersfield.
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 I'm not going
We
to pronounce
say
my H's with this
Huddersfield.
bad chest. It could be the end of me. From Huddersfield. Simple question. What is the meaning of the town's name? Is it A, field of cattle, B, field of battle, or C, field of hay?
Go! And I got this one wrong.
Yeah. What are you thinking, folks? Do you think that the original pronunciation of Huddersfield was believed to come from the wording field of cattle, A, field of battle, B, or field of hay, C? Oh, here they go, here they go. Now, Lexi reckons you should scour the charity shops for a similar sized head. That's right. We'll buy a model with a similar sized head, smash his head off, and stick it onto ours. That's when you're taking thrifting to the limit.
What do you think now? We start to get We're into the third piece that's put together with this. So you've got a policeman's bottom, a girl's head, and a wig. If you keep adding every week to her, and eventually she'll be like 5 foot tall and about 20 foot wide.
Well, we have a variety of answers covering all three. So there's those going for cattle, those going for battle, and those going for hay. I can tell you now, if you said hay, then you agreed with Caroline, which makes you wrong. It was not field of hay, and it wasn't field of cattle. I said to Caroline, I put that in for the udder. Huddersfield.
Not everybody pronounces it like us, Huddersfield.
But the truth is, it was field of battle. It was a battlefield. So we're looking for, just to check I get it right, answers with B or battle. The first B, oh, she's done it again. Sharon's on gold.
Well done, Sharon.
She's on fire tonight. And of course, Lexi B has abandoned China because that didn't fit this time at all. Couldn't be field of China.
No.
She's gone battle, so she's picked that.
Well done, Lexi.
And it's actually 3 correct answers in a row because the next answer came from West Country Medlarks.
Well done, West Country Medlarks.
So there we go, Sharon, Lexi and West Country Medlarks. You take gold, silver and bronze because Huddersfield is believed to derive from the term field of battle.
Ed says, he just thought it could be somebody beating a carpet.
Ooh.
I think she's a bit poshly dressed to beat a carpet. That's the only thing that will put me off that one. Isn't she? Mind you, she's rather smartly dressed, really, to be playing tennis, isn't she, or badminton? She looks like she's doing her toilette.
Shall I do some happy news?
Go on, and you do some happy news.
Go on, give me a happy jingle.
Okie dokie.
Cap and gown at 105 years old. 8 decades ago, Virginia Hislop's diploma was put on hold. But she's finally earned the chance to don a cap and gown and grab that parchment to the applause of her peers. While attending Stanford in 1940, Ginny needed to write a master's thesis to achieve a master's degree. A significant challenge during the best of times, but in the middle of that school year, the US entered the Second World War. Her fiancé, George, was called up to serve in the military, so they quickly married and she joined the home front war effort. After the fighting was finished, Ginny began a long career of educational work, serving on various school boards. She described her career in a nutshell as trying to improve education opportunities for the largest number of people possible. Decades went by, and Ginny eventually learned that the master's thesis requirement had now been removed. There was almost nothing stopping her from visiting a campus and picking up where she left off. So 83 years later, now at 105, she finally did just that, with her grandkids and great-grandkids looking on. The dean at Stanford said, for a lot of people, the degree is a badge of accomplishment, and it was great to be able to celebrate someone who cared so much about learning and dedicated her lifetime to other people's learning. Her son-in-law described her as a woman under whose feet moss does not grow, owing to her active lifestyle of volunteering, voracious reading, and walking round her garden.
Very impressive.
So there we go. That's quite an accomplishment, and I'm sure that is a record to walk onto the stage and pick up your diploma for a master's degree 83 years after you had to drop out. But she did it. Got back there, and 105 got a degree, got a diploma.
Hello,
certificate.
Hawkeye.
So that was good. Hello. Right, shall we have
what we going to do now? Another find?
Yeah. We've got some
What have you got in your
little
bucket? You've not got a
There we
hole?
are.
You've got...
That's, look at that cleaned up nice.
Oh, we love these bottles.
That cleaned up nice. Lots of info now.
This
It is
says-
very nice.
Croup-line cough syrup. So I suppose... Or croup-line. Is it croup-line?
Watch the water
Croup-line?
doesn't tip
Oh,
on
yes.
my...
Oh, wrong way. I just made that worse then. And on the side it says T. Roberts. And on the side it says registered. So that's a really nice bottle. It's just the colours I like on this
It's
aqua.
a good
If you
age,
can
isn't it? That
see.
aqua colour.
Yes, put it against the white wall somewhere. There. Yeah, it's really nice. And loads of, if I show you the back, lots of little tiny bubbles. And like it's got croup-line or croup-line I would imagine it is. And children have croup, and so it was probably for coughs as well as croup for that. And,
Yeah.
Goodness knows what was in it. It probably didn't do any good for croup or coughing, because a lot of these bottles had dubious contents.
Now, this again is one that we picked up on this dump, but I believe on a previous video, but didn't get shown, and because it was still in the fines. And that is the smallest teaspoons bottle that we have ever found.
Yeah, they're not usually marked, those shaped ones, so it was quite a nice find.
So there's teaspoons
One
on
of
the
the ones we
side,
find anyway.
and the markers are on there when it says teaspoons. We also have one of those. We've got quite a few of those now, but they still are very nice to find. There's a nice sort of look to those, isn't there? Sort of thing you expect to see in a chemist.
Yes.
And
There's more.
this is a similar colour, but a much plainer version.
It's got a bit of a green tinge to that one, though, isn't it? It's not the usual amber colour.
Yeah,
It's a bit strange, that
it's
one.
very smooth.
Mm.
Very smooth indeed. And
Oh, another one.
one of those little ones there. Oh, for some reason, always reminds me of a coffin. I don't know why. I see a lot of those in my business. But that indented top, I think, just looks like that sort of shape. But there we go. We had one of those.
Oh, Phyllis was saying they used to have creomulsion, cough syrup. It had creosote in it. I don't know if it's like it in America, but at the moment they banned creosote here because it's carcinogenic, and they were giving it you. It's mad,
And-
isn't it?
Last bottle of the night. But I think it gets the prize for being the cutest.
Look at that. You don't normally get green that size. Not
No.
well, again, it's not the sort of thing we find. So
No,
we're
we tend
really
to
pleased with that.
find clear. Little ones tend to be clear. But that one is in really good nick. It's got a really thick base to it. Lovely shaped
Is that
collar
Monkey?
on the top.
Oh, Monkey said it'll fit perfectly in his chest.
Oh, there we
He's
are.
got his little treasure chest of bottles there. So we'll see if it fits in. There we go. You can have it in your chest. He does like to collect little bottles.
Well, seeing as Monkey's doing the interrupting, perhaps it's time for us to ask.
That question.
And I'm really worried this week that I've blown it again, but still, let's have a go. Shall we have the last, the most disputed, and the most exciting question of the night? Now, as I mentioned last week, politics is taking over the airwaves. With the French, I think, are going to the polls very soon. We have got an election for a new Prime Minister and government taking place on Thursday. Things are happening in America. Although it's November, you really do have a big deal going for months. So much big. Our lot, they suddenly announce it, and 6 weeks later we're voting. It's very different here. But you've got it going on. And one of the things politicians like to say, at least in Britain they do, especially when things are bad, they like to say, we're all in this together. And then we all look at them and say, you gotta be joking. If you're on £100,000 a week, you're not in it with me, right? But tonight it is true. We are all in this together because it is quite possible that I will give out the answers and they won't contain the correct one, and someone else will correct me, because all you need is the numbers off the screen to prove that you're right and not me.
The Faraway Portal said the answer is not China.
No, definitely
You're
not.
right.
How many places did you see Monkey this week? Was it A1, B2, or C3?
Go. Ooh, here we go. Oh, don't worry, Mero. This is nothing to do about politics. This question, just Phil does like to talk about politics. You enjoy politics.
Well, I was just illustrating the fact
Driving
that
you bonkers.
politicians often say we're all in this together when we're really not. But tonight, with this question, we really are all in it together.
Tom's at it as well, China. Oh, what have we got coming in? Oh, Ribble's in. Ribble's in. 4 times Ribble's got. Oh. And Ribble does tend to be the authority on this. Has Steve beaten you today? How many did you say the maximum was 3 or 4?
3.
3? Oh, there we go. You could have one that Phil hasn't got. You've got really sharp eyes.
You may have 2 that I haven't got, you never know.
Oh, yeah, could be, and then you've missed one as well. It's amazing how contentious this question gets, isn't it? We really all agreed.
It is.
I don't think we've ever all agreed. But it usually helps if a couple agree. Phil's the only one that gets a little bit awkward. Right, Phil's going to check on the video now. Let's have a look, see what's coming in. We got C3333, lots of 3s. 2, 4, we got 1 4, Dan Goodwin. Ed 4 because he forgot to count. Right, so we got mainly 3s, but is 3 right? Right, we've just got...
What was the count number?
The count is, excuse us at the moment, 1 minute 36. Is that the one you're on?
No, before that.
No, it keeps moving. 0.20. So 20 seconds in.
Oh, boy.
Was it?
Well done.
He beat you again.
He's there, look.
Oh, yes, popping through the leads.
Well
Excellent,
done,
Steve.
well
You
done.
have got such good
Steve,
eyes.
you have completely redeemed yourself because there was once or twice when I've managed to count more than Steve, but tonight, folks, the answer is, as predicted, not on the sheet because there were 4.
Where Crafty Campervan said I actually counted 5. Do you agree with, if you got one, do you know of one other than the ones that Ribble has listed?
Yeah, because the one that caught me out when I go through this, he gets everywhere, and he was at all the trees, and I just didn't know which trees he was in. And he was there with his back to me. I had him in the tree on 3 occasions, but I missed the first one. I missed it, and even then when I looked, I almost missed it. He was hiding so well. But you're absolutely right.
Technical question from Linda. Is the question how many times I saw Mankey? That would be 2. Or how many times Mankey appeared?
How many times? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if it's how many times you saw Mankey, then if you only saw him once, or if you didn't see him at all, you'd be correct. It is how many times did Mankey appear in the video? So how many times is he there? Because I only saw him 3 times. Crafty Campvanners have got 5.
I know,
but they haven't got the numbers to go with it. So for tonight, and we will give you a platinum award next week if you can give us that 5th one. But for tonight, I'm going to have to give the gold position to Ed, who said 4. It's a guess because I forgot to count.
Well done,
but
Ed.
Guessing is allowed, Ed. You can be gold position with a guess. You've proven it. Then we've got Anne Goodwin, who's got 4.
Well done, Anne.
And Jason.
Well done, Jason.
Jason S, who's got 4. And of course, the only other 4... No, it's not. Right below Jason comes, and we've got to give him full marks. Steve at Ribble Finds and Crafts, because
yes.
everyone else put the number 4.
Yes,
he's written 4 times and put down everywhere
excellent.
they were and what they were doing. So excellent, and I bow to your superiority in this. And then there is another one further down. Well, down at the bottom, we seem to have a few.
I think they came in whenever you 4. Sometimes if there's not 3 in, it's always worth doing that. We go try and see if we can get an answer in.
Ed, the lucky guesser, followed by Anne and Jason, and of course, to the man. I humbly bow to your superior eyesight. I edit this thing. I watch it through. I searched for Mankey and I had him
He
down
said
as
he
3.
said Steve said he watched it 3 times to find those. But you've
I-
got good eyes. That one
Well
that
then,
Phil missed.
I
could
give you
hardly
all
see him.
credit. Folks, I told you we were all in it together. I only found Mankey on 3 occasions. And I took the risk this week of doing 1, 2 and 3 so that it would be the last and the only answer. And I thought it's got to be the week somebody finds him. I was so sure I found him everywhere.
Well, Crafty Campervanner said they saw County Fives. They're going to check this
I'll
tomorrow.
let you do it. You check it out and you let
gonna be
us
great
know.
fun to
Send
know,
us a
isn't it?
message and you will get a platinum podium all of your own to dance on. The pair of you next week. We will have you dancing on a platinum podium. Well, folks, what a nail-biting way to finish.
Oh, it was.
When the question master got it wrong. All thanks to a pesky panda.
Yes.
God, and I was the one who took you in. She wanted to put you in the bin, Monkey. I took you in. I saved you. And you dropped me in it again.
He knows where the food comes from.
See, some people think that it's me who puts him in these places. I don't know where he gets to.
No.
Otherwise, I'd get the answer right.
This is
Anyway, enough of this. I'm going to go and have a nice warm drink.
Right, so we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.